Okay, so today we are going to go over medical terminology, which is a very important lecture not only for this class, but it's also going to serve as the basis of your medical terms for if you are looking to go into any sort of healthcare or medical field in the future. Okay, so first we're going to talk about anatomical position. So this is a position that the body is in, and it's important because it's going to be our reference point for how we locate and describe an injury or the body position that we find someone in. So anatomical position is going to be with your body standing straight up and erect, facing forward, with your arms at your side and your palms facing forward. That's considered our anatomical position. Okay, then we have different positional words that you guys need to know. So anterior means front, so toward the front of your body. Posterior means back, toward the back of your body. Medial means toward your midline. So your midline is going to be an invisible line if it were drawn from the top of your head, down your face, through your nose, through your chin, down your sternum, and in through the rest of your body. So your midline is just an invisible reference point if someone were to divide your body into two halves and it's just drawn right down your front. Whereas lateral is the opposite and it means toward the outside. So when I'm explaining these two terms, I could say that my heart is more medial than my elbow. And that's because my heart is closer to that invisible line in the middle of my body than my elbow is. And then oppositely, I could say my elbow is more lateral than my heart because it's closer to the outside of my body. Then we have distal, which means it's the far end, and proximal, which means the near end. So when we are using these two terms, we are usually talking about far and near end from the center of our body. So you can kind of think of your stomach or your core as the center of your body, and everything farthest away from that is the far end, and proximal would be closest to that point. So I like to use examples to really help explain it. So when we're talking about distal, or the farthest away points, I would say my ankle is more distal than my knee, and that's because it's farther away from the middle of my body. And then to change that, I could say my knee is more proximal than my ankle. When we're using it with upper body or your arms, you could say my elbow is more distal than my shoulder, and you could say my shoulder is more proximal than my elbow. Okay, a few more terms for us. Superior means above, so anything closest to the top of our heads is superior, whereas inferior means below, so closest to the ground. So when I'm talking about these terms, I can say my eyes are superior to my chin. I could also say my knees are inferior to my chin as well. So anything closest to the top of your head or the bottom of your feet. Then I have dorsal and ventral, which are two more terms for back and front. Dorsal you can remember because it's like a dorsal fin on a dolphin, which is on the back side. Then I have deep and superficial, and this is referring to being farther from the surface and closer to the surface. So deeper is just deeper inside of your body, so like internal organs, if you have a really deep cut maybe. And superficial means closer toward the top of the surface of your skin. Here are a few pictures that can help. A lot of your visual learners, I'm sure, so please refer to this picture if you need help with it or have any confusion. And then also try to give yourselves reference points. So try to pick 2 points on the body and then use those anatomical terms to see if you can get them correct. And then we have the sagittal planes of the body. I'm not going to go too depth into this because I don't really think we need it for this course, but we do have 3. There are the sagittal, coronal, and transverse planes. And these planes just divide our body into different halves, either forward and back, side to side, or straight through our abdomen. And this is really just important when we are talking about different movements in which body plane they would be in. Okay, so there are a lot of movements in the body. I have gathered the most common or important ones that we'll talk about, And I'm actually going to post a video in this week's module for you guys because you won't be able to see me do these motions in person. So don't worry about these just yet. I do have some pictures here if the video wasn't enough information for you. And then I have some vocabulary. So starting with acute. Acute means a sudden onset. So this means that an injury happened very suddenly, just in one instance. I fell and I rolled my ankle, that would be an acute injury. Whereas chronic is an injury that comes up over time. So it's a constant or lingering pain that's going to develop over several days, weeks, months, or even years. So something like this could be maybe a tendinitis, which it just doesn't happen one day. It happens from a buildup of time and pressure and force on that area, and that would be considered a chronic injury. Atrophy is the degeneration of tissue. So we use this word to describe any type of tissue in the body. It could be skin, could be bone, could be muscle atrophy, and that just means that the tissue is degenerating or dying. So a lot of times we see this in the sports medicine clinic. We are talking about muscle atrophy, and that's because someone has either been injured or had surgery and not been able to use their muscles. So you can see a difference in muscle tone, and that would mean that one side has atrophied. Then we have cryotherapy. Cryotherapy is treatment by any type of application of cold. So that could be treatment using ice, using cold water. I have a picture here of an ice massage cup. That's an example as well. So that suffix cryo means cold. So cryotherapy means any type of rehab or treatment that we would use with cold. Then you have cryokinetics. So this is cryo, cold, with kinetics, which is movement. So any type of exercise that we do with cold. So I have a picture here of an athlete doing ankle range of motion and mobility exercises inside of a cold whirlpool. And this has cold water in it, and the athlete is moving their ankle around. So this would be an example of cryokinetics. Then we have diagnosis. A diagnosis is a decision reached from taking a history, observing, functional testing, and special tests. So this means that a healthcare professional will come to a diagnosis after we gather all of the information around the injury. Ecchymosis is discoloration of the skin. So it's just a fancy word for a bruise. Edema means swelling. So edema is a medical term we like to use because it's referring to the actual fluid inside of a joint or area. So I have an image here of a normal looking foot and then that foot if it had edema in it. Effusion is specifically referring to fluid inside a joint. So this person has fluid inside their knee joint capsule. It's just in that knee, so this would be called an effusion. Etiology means the study of the causes of disease. So anytime we are trying to research or study what causes certain injuries, illnesses, diseases, that is all etiology. Then we have dislocation. So it just means the act of displacing. So you can dislocate numerous different bones in your body. Several common ones would be your shoulder, your fingers, maybe your patella, your kneecap. And then I have some images at the bottom. Fracture means breaking of a bone. So a lot of students get confused and have heard that a fracture just means a small break. That's incorrect. A fracture is just the medical term for a break. So I have an example here of lots of different types of fracture with pictures. These are all breaks. They're all fractures. So no matter if it's really tiny and just a hairline fracture, or if someone breaks their arm and it's sticking out of their skin, you can see the bone, that's still a fracture. So we don't refer to breaks in this class. We are going to refer to any type of broken bone as a fracture. Genu valgus is a positional term. It means knock-kneed. It's when the knees come together but the ankles are farther apart. And genuvaris means bow-legged, so it's the opposite. Genuvaris means the ankles are together, but the knees are sticking farther apart.